Hi, and welcome back to Chasing Wisdom, the YouTube channel where we go after wisdom. Why? Because only through wisdom we can achieve true success. I'm your host, Rocco Di Pietro, and today I'm going to start with a new series which is going to delve deeper into great books, great ideas, great quotes I'm going to share with you right here on this channel. If you like this video, please push the like button. It helps the channel a lot with YouTube's algorithm. So, without further ado, let us delve deeper into Angela Duckworth's masterpiece, The Power of Passion and Perseverance, called Grit. So, the idea of grit. The idea of grit depends on a different kind of hope. It rests on the expectation that our own efforts can improve our future. And Angela says, I have a feeling tomorrow will be better. It's different from I resolve to make tomorrow better. The hope that gritty people have has nothing to do with luck and everything to do with getting up again. The main idea of this book is, for example, think about Rocky and his movie when he was, I think, the 13th round, when he was beaten down by the Apollo, and then he kept getting up. He just kept on getting up. He did not have a hope, he had the perseverance, and he has the wish, the passion, and strong sense of going forward no matter what. That is grit. And Angela says, why were the highly accomplished so dogged in their pursuits? For most, there was no realistic expectation of ever catching up to their ambition. In their own eyes, they were never good enough. They were the opposite of complacent, and yet, in a very real sense, they were satisfied with being unsatisfied. Each was chasing something of unparalleled interest and importance, and it was the chase as much as the capture that was gratifying. Even if some of the things they had to do were boring or frustrating or even painful, they wouldn't dream of giving up. It is the idea of never ever giving up. The idea of a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. As I would like to add, we can quit when it is wise to quit. But until then, we should grind, we should make the effort and do everything that we can. So, their passion was enduring. In some, no matter the domain, the highly successful had a kind of ferocious determination that played out in two ways. First, these exemplars were unusually resilient and hardworking. Second, they knew in a very, very deep way what it was they wanted. They not only had determination, they had direction. It's like when you feel that you're absolutely sure about what you want, you make a focus. You put a laser focus and you take everything that you have in your life and you put everything in your life to that use. So everything becomes part of that biggest or bigger challenge. And for all the successful, or almost all the successful people, it was this combination of passion and perseverance that made high achievers special. In a word, they had grit. That's grit. Passion and perseverance. That's what Michael Jordan had, that's what all the greatest achievers had or have. And it's like, for example, about Will Smith, what Will Smith had. We're going to talk about more of that in the future. So, Angela is telling us, there's an old Japanese saying, fall 7, rise 8. If I were ever to get a tattoo, I would get these 4 simple words indelibly inked. And she continues, by the last day of Beast Barracks, 71 cadets had dropped out. Grit turned out to be an astoundingly reliable predictor of who made it through and who did not. The next year I returned to West Point to run the same study. This time 62 cadets dropped out of BEAST, and again Grit predicted who would stay. That's the story of how she got this idea of grit. In contrast, stayers and leavers had indistinguishable whole candidate scores. I looked a little closer at individual components that make up the score. Again, not importance. So, what matters for making it through BEAST parents? Not your SAT scores, not your high school rank, not your leadership experience, not your athletic ability, not your whole candidate score. What matters is grit. And it matters in all the parts of your life. Everywhere that you go, everything that you do, grit matters. She continues, I came to the fundamental insight that would guide my future work. Our potential is one thing. What we do with it is quite another. Without effort, your talent is nothing more than your unmet potential. Without effort, your skill is nothing more than what you could have done but didn't. With effort, talent becomes skill, and at the very same time, effort makes skill productive. It is effort that makes skill productive. Talent is how quickly your skills improve when you invest effort. Achievement is what happens when you take your acquired skills and use them. Of course, your opportunities, for example, having a great teacher matters tremendously too, and maybe more than anything about the individual. My theory doesn't address these outside forces, nor does it include luck. It's about the psychology of achievement, but because psychology isn't all that matters, it's incomplete. Still, I think it's useful. What this theory says is that when you consider individuals in identical circumstances, what each achieves depends on just two things, talent and effort. Talent is how fast we can improve our skill, absolutely matters. But effort factors into the calculation twice, not once. Efforts build skill. At the very same time, effort makes skill productive. Remember, effort counts twice. Whatever you do in life, whatever you set out to accomplish, effort counts twice. And Angela quotes Will Smith a few times in this chapter. And Will Smith says, I have never really viewed myself as particularly talented. Where I excel is ridiculous, sickening work ethic. I remember him telling that he would literally pass out on the treadmill when he went after something. And she continues, eventually, if you keep practicing in the same time and place, what once took conscious thought to initiate becomes automatic. There is no more miserable human being, observed William James, than the one for whom every beginning of every bit of work must be decided anew each day. I remember Gilbert, I think it was, he said that he never ever lose an ounce of thought or thinking about what he's going to do. And he says, I know exactly what I'm going to do in the future. I'm going exactly what I'm going to do next year, for example. And she continues, what I mean by passion is not just that you have something you care about. What I mean is that you care about the same ultimate goal in an abiding, loyal, steady way. You're not capricious. Each day you wake up thinking of the questions you feel asleep thinking about. You are, in a sense, pointing in the same direction, ever eager to take even the smallest step forward than to take a step to the side, towards some other destination. At the extreme, one might call your focus obsessive. Most of your actions derive their significance from their allegiance to your ultimate concern, your life philosophy. You have your priorities in order. That's what I've been talking about before. So, having your priorities, having everything that is happening in your life focused on that one major or most important goal in your life. Greedy people figure out what they are really committed to, and they give themselves to it for years or decades or an entire lifetime. As Angela says, their passion is less like fireworks that comes intensely and then fade away, and more like a compass that guides every moment of their entire lives. And then she goes, pitching determines what I eat when I go to bed, what I do when I'm awake. It determines how I spend my life when I'm not pitching. If it means I have to come to Florida and can't get tanned because I might get a burn that would keep me from throwing for a few days, then I never go shirtless in the sun. If it means I have to remind myself to pet dogs with my left hand or throw logs on the fire with my left hand, then I do that too. If it means in the winter I eat cottage cheese instead of chocolate chip cookies in order to keep my weight down, then I eat cooked cheese. So you can see the idea of grit is putting everything that you do in your life that it is in accordance with this one goal, one idea that you are focusing your life and going after. So interest is one source of passion. Purpose, the intention to contribute to the well-being of others, is another. The mature passions of gritty people depend on both. In my grit lexicon, therefore, purpose means the intention to contribute to the well-being of others. And then, the 4 psychological assets, or how to grow your grit. And Angela continues. In fact, when people drop out of things, they do so for a reason. Actually, they do so for different reasons. Any of the following 4 thoughts might go through your head right before you quit what you do. For example, I'm bored. The effort isn't worth it. This isn't important to me. I can't do this, so I might as well give up. So, there's nothing wrong, morally or otherwise, with thoughts like this. As I tried to show in these chapters, paragons of grit quit goals too, but the higher the level of the goal in question, the more stubborn they are about seeing it through. Most important, paragons of grit don't swap compasses. When it comes to the one singularly important aim that guides almost everything else they do, the very gritty tend not to utter the statements above. Together, the research reveals that psychological assets that mature paragons of grit have in common. There are 4. They counter each of the boss killer listed above, and they tend to develop over the years in particular order. And then she goes on to explain that 4 ideas or 4 pillars that you can use in your life to cover that thing. So, author and activist James Baldwin once put it this way: children have never been very good at listening to their elders, but they have never failed to imitate them. And this quote actually changed my life, because from that moment I came to realize that I am a role model for example, for my kids, and I am a role model for maybe some other people. So it is important to being worth of being imitated. So to be gritty is to keep putting one foot in front of the other. To be gritty is to hold fast to an interesting and purposeful goal. To be gritty is to invest day after week after year in challenging practice. To be gritty is to fall down 7 times and to rise up 8. And then, you are a gritty genius. You are no genius, my dad used to say when I was just a little girl, she says. I realize now that he was talking to himself as much as he was talking to me. If you define genius as being able to accomplish great things in life without effort, then he was right. I'm no genius, and neither is he, and probably neither are we. But instead, you define genius as working toward excellence ceaselessly with every element of your being, then in fact my dad is a genius, and so am I. And if you're willing, so are you. So, if you put your work ethic toward a goal that is important to you, that you feel inspired by it, you should go for it. You should do everything that you have to do to achieve that goal. So it was a pleasure to be with you. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you for pushing the like button. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that you got a lot of value from this video. Please subscribe to the channel so we can grow together. Until next time, I'm wishing you all the best, and I'm doing my grit work right here, right now, to improve myself and to put even better value for you in the future. Have fun. Bye bye.